Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we are going to make a video where we take a look at the Kree warrior known as Captain Marvel. The reason why I'm making this video now is because we finally have the final piece of the puzzle needed to recreate a pretty much perfect version of Captain Marvel. Basically what we were missing was the antimatter aura around the hands. So let's get started. So originally our friend Captain Marvel sort of kind of looked like this. Yeah, there's a few spikes too many on the helmet and things like that, but with the current styles we have in this universe online, this is about as close as we can get to the original version of Captain Marvel. Also, I know that the emblem should be like an emblem of the planet Saturn. Sadly, we don't have such emblem. Ironically enough, the closest we have is actually the Flash emblem. So I decided to use that instead of a Saturn emblem. That would be more appropriate for the character. But overall, this is pretty close to what the character did look like originally in the Marvel comics. You should have only one gun, and there's a few things that aren't quite right. But again, within the limitation of this universe online, this is about as close as we can get to our friend Marvel. There were a few variations on that look, especially in later years. Alex Ross did make a few tweaks to the costume, but overall, this is pretty much what the character did look like originally. And then in later years, our friend Marvel changed his appearance quite drastically. Basically, he was given his original design, I think, was by Gene Colan, and he was given a redesign in the 70s by Gil Kane. Gil Kane is pretty much the same guy who designed Green Lantern, he designed the Atom, and countless other DC characters, but he also did quite a bunch of designs for Marvels in the 70s. And Captain Marvel seems to be one of those. The star, obviously, the star is not quite right. It should be more like a burst star than an actual star. But again, within the context of this universe online, this is about as close as I was able to get. For the hands, we got the quicksuit hands, which are perfect to recreate the bracers that Captain Marvel was using. And for the headpiece, I went with the Indigo Lantern headpiece, which gives us it has the indigo. It shouldn't have the indigo lantern emblem, but the shape of the mask is pretty close to what Marvel was using at the time. Obviously, I couldn't find quite exactly the same kind of hair that Marvel had, and also it's one of the few masks where the ears actually come out of the mask, which I always find. I'm always surprised there's not more of those masks, but what can you do? So overall, using the antimatter aura, the quicksuit hands, the Indigo Lantern headpiece, and the belt is the Green Arrow belt, you can pretty much create a pretty good version of Captain Marvel. For the boots, you can use a whole bunch of different boots. The pants, the new Genesis pants worked well enough. And for the chest, in this case, I went with the reverse slimline. But again, there's a whole bunch of you could tweak the look depending on what styles you have very easily. And later on, Marvel tried to have a new Captain Marvel. Basically, they had a new Captain Marvel that was Monica Rambeau. But at some point, for some reason, they decided to change it again. She became like Photon. And they had this new Captain Marvel, which was the actual son of Captain Marvel. His name was like a Janice Vell or something like that. And I couldn't really reproduce the look of Janice Vell exactly because basically I would have needed like some sort of jacket on top of what you're looking right now. So either I was going to use a jacket from this universe online, or I was going to say no jacket and just go with whatever looks the closest to what Janice Vell did look in the comics at the time. Like they gave him the long hair, they gave him some sort of cargo pants. Basically, they were trying to get away from superhero costume and almost make him look more like a factory worker or something, which is something that happened quite a lot in the 90s. Basically, this character was created in the 90s, and in the 90s, they were trying to pretty much move away from traditional superhero costume and go more towards practical gear, I suppose, or what they thought was practical gear at the time. And then later on, with our friend Jin as well, they went back more to a look that kind of looked like the classic Captain Marvel, but with a few changes. Basically, they got rid of the mask, and he only had this like cosmic looking skin, which is perfect. Like I'm using the cosmic skin right now to reproduce that look, which works really well with that look. Obviously, they gave him the white hair, or they kept the white hair, but they gave him a bit of a haircut. And obviously, again, the quick suit style for the bracers works more than fine. The antimatter aura for the hands, again, works fine. I'm still using the green arrow belt, but for the pants, I just went with the reverse slimline pants. Basically, the reverse slimline pants worked well enough. Basically, it's one of those times when they were trying to get away from the short looks, and they were trying to go back to the classic look, but by trying to make it a bit more modern by not having the shorts on the character. And again, this is pretty darn close to what the character did look like in the comic. So it's fairly easy to reproduce the look of that character. And ideally, what I would use with this character is a Quantum, which is what I am actually using. So again, if for some reason you don't like the classic Captain Marvel look for reasons, then you could go for this version, which is close enough to the classic look, but with a bit of a modern twist here and there. And this is pretty much it for our friend Captain Marvel, the Marvel version, obviously. We'll probably make a video about Captain Marvel from DC, basically the Shazam version. We'll see about that. I have a whole bunch of videos that I'm planning or hoping to make. I want to make an Anti-Monitor video, Superboy Prime video. I have a whole bunch of videos in the pipeline. It's just a matter of finally deciding which video I'll make and just taking the time to make it. Sadly, there's too many videos and not enough time in one day. So we'll take that one video at a time, and hopefully sooner or later, I'll go through them all. We shall see. So that's going to be it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.